here with us who is a proven leader, a proven hero, a patriot, but even more importantly than that, he's a man of character, a man of honor, and a man of integrity. And he's a man of faith. He was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. He went to the University of Tennessee, and when he graduated, he joined the Army. And that's not a surprise either, because he comes from a military family. Both his dad and his brother were career Army. His dad served in World War II, and his brother in Vietnam. Even his mother, as a civilian, worked for the Marine Corps for a while. 35 years. That's more than a while. So he, after he graduated, he was commissioned a second lieutenant in the Army. He went to jump school. He went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and went to artillery school and became an artillery officer. In his 21 years of service in the Army, he served at all command and staff levels in the artillery batteries and battalions. He was a liaison to the 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. He saw combat in Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and during the Iraq War. After his retirement, he certainly didn't let any grass grow under his feet. He taught high school. He was a history teacher and a track coach. He was an advisor to the Iraq military. He was a member of the House of Representatives and served on the Armed Services Committee and Small Business Committee. He's a Fox News contributor. He's an author, and he's currently the CEO of the National Council on Policy Analysts. He's got a master's degree in political science and in military arts and science. It is really an honor, and please join me in welcoming Congressman Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, United States Army.
Everybody hear me okay? Yes, sir. Appreciate it. How y'all doing? Good, sir. Hoorah! Hoorah! 75? All right. Good to be with you all, and thank you for all of your faculty and staff and everyone to be here. This is truly what America and giving back is all about. Because what I want to do is just share some thoughts and perspectives with you all and tell you my story, because my story is not too much different than the story that many of you all are experiencing right now. And then, so I'll talk for maybe about 25, 30 minutes, and then after that, it's up to you all. Anybody here, whatever questions that you want to ask of me, because I think that's the most important thing, to hear what's on your mind. You know, Colonel Hill just kind of gave you a brief overview of my background. I was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know how many people here have ever been to Ebenezer Baptist Church. Anybody ever been near Ebenezer Baptist Church? Who used to preach at Ebenezer Baptist Church? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Ebenezer Baptist Church was right in the center of my neighborhood where I grew up. It's called the Old Fourth Ward. My elementary school was right across the street from Ebenezer Baptist Church. In 1961, I was born in a hospital in Atlanta that was for blacks only. Hughes Spalding Hospital. Now you ask yourself, how is it that someone born in 1961 in a hospital for blacks only could grow up and command a U.S. Army artillery battalion in combat, over 600 soldiers, could go on to become a member of the United States House of Representatives and represent the highest per capita income zip code in the United States of America? That's Palm Beach, Iowa. As a matter of fact, in 1961, when I was born, people that looked like me could not go on Fort Lauderdale Beach, nor could they go to Palm Beach Island. But yet, 50 years later, I was the congressional representative of those two places. See, I want you to understand how special it is to be in the United States of America. Because in the United States of America, it is all about what I call the equality of opportunity, not an equality of outcomes. It's all about understanding that no matter where you are born, no matter where you come from, you can achieve whatever level of greatness that you want to have. A lieutenant colonel in the United States Army. My dad was just a corporal in the United States Army in World War II. My dad served at a time when this country did not afford him all the rights and privileges that it did others. My older brother was actually a Marine. Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 26th Marines. He was wounded at a place called Quezon during the Tet Offensive. My mother served 25 years. I'm sorry, I'm speaking Georgian, you didn't hear me right. But my mother served 25 years with the 6th Marine Corps District Headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. I grew up watching these incredible men, the few, the proud, the United States Marines, as a little kid. Now, when it came time for me to, ruck up and decide which way I was going to go, my dad sat me down on the steps of 651 Kennesaw Avenue. That was our house. And he told me this. He looked at his 15-year-old son. He said, there's no greater honor in America than to wear the uniform of this great nation. There's no greater honor to serve this country. There's no greater opportunity you will have to show the measure of who you are. And my mother would always say, the measure of a man is not how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times you get back up. Most important lesson that you can always learn. And so my dad challenged me at the age of 15 to become the first officer in our family. Since he was just a corporal, my older brother was a lance corporal. And so I started just the same as a lot of you all here. At Henry Grady High School in Atlanta, Georgia, in Army Junior ROTC. My instructors there, Lieutenant Colonel Pagonis, Major Heredia, Master Sergeant Buchanan, Sergeant First Class McMichael. All of them Korea and Vietnam War veterans. They saw something in me that I did not know was in me. And from that time in 1976 when I started, I ended up in my senior year being the Cadet Battalion Commander there at the ROTC program. What I'm telling you right now, you look at these instructors, you look at these men, you look at these women who are helping you to become, or as the Army used to say, be all you can be, you will never forget their names. And the fact that these men and women are here investing in you, they live with you, they eat with you, that tells you something very special. That the legacy of liberty and freedom, the very essence and meaning of what it means to be an American, to live in America, it's going to get passed on to you all. Or whatever country you're from. You're going to be the new standard bearer. You're going to have to set yourself apart from everyone else. I told a young man when I saw him earlier today, you get stronger by swimming against the current. As a matter of fact, Thomas Jefferson once said, in matters of style, swim with the current. In matters of substance, stand like a rock. So I'm going to share with you 22 years of leadership positions in the United States Army, time spent in the United States House of Representatives. One of the first things I learned early on, you always carry your 3x5 cards. How many of y'all got 3x5 cards? You can ask my wife right now what sits on the nightstand in our bedroom. She'll tell you his 3x5 cards. Because you never know what a thought will come into your mind. You never know when an idea will come into your mind. You got to be ready to jot it down. And the first 2 3x5 cards that I always carry are my leadership principles that I want to share with you. The first thing, I call them the 5 C's of leadership. If someone wants to write them down or someone's going to make sure you get them later, I think that they will be the foundation for you as you move forward in life. The first C is courage. What did I just say? It's very easy to swim with the current. It's very easy to go along with the crowd. It's very easy to be with whatever society or culture says that you're the cool kids. It wasn't really fun being a Henry grade high school on that uniform day, wearing that uniform. They tried to make fun of us or whatever. But the thing was that we knew that we were above the rest. We found pride in ourselves when we could stand there and our instructors would inspect us and we passed inspection. And as you go through life, you're going to have to find the courage to stand up and stand alone sometimes. How many people here remember the HBO miniseries about the 101st Airborne Division? It was called Band of Brothers. Okay? That unit there that went through their training, they had a Cherokee Indian word as their motto. They still do to today. That Cherokee Indian word is Curahee. You know what Curahee means? Stands alone. Now, why was it so important for them to have that motto? Why was it so important for them to have that type of bond through their training? Because in December of 1944, when the 101st Airborne Division was surrounded at a place called Bastogne, they didn't have the proper winter training or equipment. The Germans sent them a letter asking for their surrender. And the commander of the 101st Airborne Division, Brigadier General McCauley, sent back a one-word response to the Germans. That word was nuts. And when that one-word response got throughout the entire 101st Airborne Division, they found their courage to stand alone. Even surrounded in the dead of winter by an overwhelming force. And they ended up saving the victory that they had previously helped to establish with the invasion of Europe. That's what each and every one of you have to do. You have to find the courage in yourself. Because sometimes when these instructors are gone, when your parents are gone, and you're going to be out there all alone, you're going to have to make a stand. The second C is competence. And I'm sure each and every one of the people here that have ever been in combat will tell you one thing. And excuse my French, but I'm going to just lay it out there as it is. No one follows a dumbass into a firefight. You've got to be trained, you've got to be competent. Your courage only comes when you effect and train this, which is the most important weapon, and that's your brain. That's why you're here, so you can focus on academics. That's why these teachers are here, to make sure that you are prepared, that you are able to go out and stand alone, because you will have an incredible intellectual capability and capacity. That's why this institution has a 100% fill rate for colleges and universities. Think about that. You're part of an organization, an institution, that you know if you graduate from here, you're going on to college and university, higher education. That enables you to stand alone. That enables you to stand above everyone else. Because you're just not at the standard, you're above the standard. And that's what leaders do. Leaders just don't say, what's the minimum? They say, what's the maximum? And when they achieve the maximum, they ask how further I can go. That's why a kid like me, who grew up afraid of heights, could end up becoming a master parachutist. Could be so honored to be one of the very few amount of American soldiers that can wear the master parachutist badge of the Army and also the Navy Marine Corps gold parachutist wings. It's about courage. It's about confidence. The next C is about commitment. The challenge that each and every one of you have, you got to figure out, what are you committed to? Am I right, Long? Look at me, okay? Because the whole thing about being a leader is you look at people eyeball to eyeball. Don't ever put your head down, son, okay? All right. It's all about commitment. And when you're committed to a core principles of values, because the other thing that I carry no matter where I go is this. You know what this is? No, it's not the Bible, brother. I carry it, that's in my bag. That's in the colonel's truck. He better not Don't leave with my Bible, okay? This is the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution. Why is it important that I carry this wherever I go? Not like the American Express card, you know, don't leave home without it. I don't walk out the house without this. Because on 31 July 1982, I took a simple oath that this colonel took, the sergeant major took, a lot of others took. That oath was to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, to bear true faith and allegiance to the United States, so help me God. On 31 July 1982, my dad, that corporal from World War II, who said the exact same oath, was at my right shoulder. And my mom, who served with men for 25 years, was on my left shoulder. Tang, stand up if you're getting sleepy, bro. Because you fall asleep, I'm going to make you do push-ups. And I'm serious as two dogs fight. You must be committed to something. And when you're committed to it, the fourth C is convicted. Because it's real easy to be committed to something, but when things get a little tough, things get a little hard, then you say, I don't know. Kind of like Peter. Peter, who had followed Jesus all those years, and then all of a sudden, when the rubber met the road, Peter's like, I don't know that dude. He said, he confessed that he was committed, but when the showtime came for him to be convicted and make that stand, to show his courage, to show his confidence, he didn't measure up. Of course, he ended up getting restitution and getting forgiveness. But the important thing is that when you find those core principles that you are committed to, and when you are tested, you have to show the conviction. You can't be like a weather vane. You know what a weather vane is? It just does what? Whichever way the wind blows. That's not leadership, folks. And some of you all may end up being leaders in our military. And those young men and young women that you're going to be in charge of are going to be looking to you to do one single thing. To be the leader. With courage, with competence, with commitment, with conviction, and the last C is character. Character is one single thing. I've taught this to my daughters, I've taught this to soldiers, I tell it to each and every person that I come in contact with. Character means doing what is right when no one's watching. They're going to be gone one day. What are you going to do? If you have courage, if you have competence, if you have commitment, if you have conviction, no matter if they're not around, you're going to do the right thing. And as I learned at Fort Bragg as a young paratrooper, leaders know what right looks like. You got to ask yourself each and every day, do I know what right looks like at the beginning of the day? And at the end of the day, look at yourself in the mirror and say, did I do what was right? Courage, competence, commitment, conviction, character. 5 C's. If you do those 5 things, you will be a successful leader. Not just in the military, but in life. You will stand alone. And you will set yourself apart from everyone else. Now these are the 5 things that I told my soldiers when I took over a combat battalion. Not too far away from here, Fort Hood, Texas. We deployed to Iraq in 2003. And some of y'all know my story. You know that when I got tested, I showed people what I was convicted to do. Because the most important thing was the safety of the lives of my men. Not my personal comfort, not my personal safety. But the first thing that you must always do, when I was the commander of 2nd Battalion, 20th Field Artillery Regiment in Fort Hood in the 4th Infantry Division, was keep your bayonet sharp. That's your bayonet. Just the same as you put that bayonet at the end of a weapon, because you must be ready to go into a close quarters fight. This is part of the competence. This is that bayonet that you must keep sharp. That's why I keep these cards on my nightstand. So if something comes into my brain, I can immediately write it down. That's why you are here with these incredible teachers that are giving of themselves and their time and their professionalism to train you up. In Proverbs 22:6, it says this very simply: train up a child in the way that they should go, so that when they grow old, they shall not depart from it. That's why I would say to Lieutenant Colonel Pagonis, Major Heredia, Master Sergeant Buchanan, Sergeant First Class McMichael, they did right by me. And that's why I can say to my parents, who were both buried in Marietta National Cemetery, because they gave service to this great nation, that they trained me up in the way that I should go. The second thing, keep your individual weapon clean. So, Major, what happens when you don't clean your weapon in combat and all of a sudden you're in a firefight?
It misfires.
It misfires. Worst thing, worst time of day, when you pull that trigger, you hear what? Click. That's a bad day, Airborne. That's a bad day, Marine. But even more important, that's your individual weapon. Keep that weapon clean, your body. I'm 58 years of age. 6 days out of the week, I will still put in 4 to 6 miles. I still knock out about 90 push-ups after I run and a bunch of crunches and whatever. I never smoked, I never drank my entire life. Hardest thing I drink is ginger ale. And that's only when I got an upset stomach. You laugh. But the important thing is I understand this is my individual weapon. I gotta keep it clean. I gotta be ready to act. I gotta be ready to engage when I'm in that ideological firefight, when someone challenges me. That's part of character. Because I never saw my parents smoke or drink either. And trust me, when I hit the University of Tennessee up there on Rocky Top, where, you know, it was Charlie Daniels for music and it was Jack Daniels for, you know, entertainment, I said, nah, I don't want to go down that path. And the great thing is that my buddies always depended on me to be their designated driver. They put their lives into my hands because they knew I was committed to taking care of them. I didn't put my values on them, but eventually the way that I lived my life ended up affecting a lot of them. Keep your individual weapon clean. Keep this bayonet sharp. The third thing, if one man does, another man checks. Let me tell you what, Sergeant Major, I didn't do anything that my Sergeant Major didn't check. When I was battery commander, I didn't do anything that my first sergeant didn't check. I never thought that I was so proud, so arrogant, and so honorary that someone couldn't check what I do. And if you understand the business of field artillery, if someone doesn't check those numbers, someone can end up losing their life. Just the same as when you are doing your work in class, when you're doing your assignments, your homework projects. Don't be so arrogant that you can't have somebody else check. Everybody here got a battle buddy? Okay, let me ask this again. Does everybody here have a battle buddy? Then what good are you? If I just told you one man does, another man checks, who's your battle buddy? Who's your foxhole buddy? Who's going to be the person that you can go to when things get a little tough? When you need to make sure, hey man, am I on target? Am I squared away? No man is an island. So I want today, every single one of you figures out who your battle buddy is, who your teammate is, who the person that's going to watch your six when you're slacking a little bit. Because one person does, another person checks. You're not going to make it through life thinking you can do it on your own. You got to have someone that nudges you in your ribs when you start to fall asleep. You know, Colonel West creeping up on you. Because you don't want to mess around and wake up dead, now do you? Okay? Fourth thing, be the expert in your lane and knowledgeable in another. And why is that so important? Because just because one person is not there in a unit does not mean that entire unit should stop to cease to function. Whatever your primary duty is, the same thing with teachers. Whatever your primary duty and responsibility is, the same thing with the DIs that you have here. What's your other responsibility? What's the other thing that you're going to become knowledgeable in? Because that's how you make sure the Marine Military Academy can continue to go on. Because one monkey don't stop no show. And that's the important part about finding the battlefield too. Find out what your strengths are. But then also admit to yourself what your weaknesses are. And get someone to help you with that. And the last one, very simple. Just be a professional. Walk tall. Look at people eyeball to eyeball. Sir, put your arm hands out. Look at me eyeball to eyeball. Because that's the measure of a person. If you can't look at a person eyeball to eyeball, that tells me all I need to know about you. And if you're a professional, if you haven't been that sharp, if you have an individual weapon cleaning, if you know that someone can check what you're doing, if you're an expert in something and knowledgeable in another thing, you're a professional and you can look at anybody eye to eye. If you have courage, competence, commitment, conviction, and character, you can look at anybody eye to eye. Because that's the measure of who you are. Don't ever drop your head. Because that means that you're taking a position of surrender. That's it, folks. That's 22 years wrapped up in a couple of 3x5 cards that I carry in my breast pocket wherever I go. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to step up and find the thing that you're willing to be committed to and train yourself in each and every way. And you have no better environment to do it than to be right here. And I will tell you this. I will guarantee you for each and every one of you that are sitting here, there are 10 kids out there that wish like God they could be where you are right now. They wish that they could have people that care about them. They wish that they could be in an environment where they learn structure and discipline. Because the human being wants order. And when they don't find order, they resort to chaos. And what you see in so many communities all across the United States of America, especially with young men, is the lack of discipline is creating chaos. When I go back to the same neighborhood that I grew up in, it's a completely different neighborhood. When I think about in my community, the black community, only 24% of kids have a mother and father in the home today. Then I understand what has happened. This is a family. You got to fight to keep it. This is how you deliver a punch. That's not how you deliver a punch. Be a cohesive unit. And understand the legacy that you all are part of. I just went over there and saw that model of the Iwo Jima Memorial. Saw the final resting spot of Harlan Bach. Understand that you being a cadet here, a student here, you're the keeper of that legacy. And you should be proud of that. With that being said, may God bless you all and all your questions.